Yeah, DS walk, Daredevil world, signature finish up, let's go. Mic check, fade in, red light on, DS in the chair, new day, same dawn. Got notes in the pad, got truth on deck. Ask real tight questions, put respect on the check. We break plays down, then we break them again. From the huddle to the hustle to the how we would win. You can hear grind talk in the breaths we take. Every story got a scar, every star can't wait. It's that signature of finisher talk. Staring every show with DS walk. Daredevil J, bring the flame, no fear. If you came for the real, park right here. It's that signature of finisher talk. Running to the air, we don't never cut it short. Turn the volume up till the doubt disappear. If you came for the real, park right here, never drop in. Whole move, switch lanes, spin facts so sharp, cut straight through games. We don't chase bright noise, we just chase that proof. Put the mic on it.
It's a good day to be in the neighborhood. Good day to talk some wrestling with my tag team partner in crime, Double J.
Yeah, I'm still not sure where the Double J comes from, but I'll take it. Whatever.
The Double J come from, Daredevil, and now you're the father of the original Double J, so I got to give you that. Start the show. So
I get that.
If she started the show, then I got to use her name.
That's fair. I'll give that to you.
Yeah. I mean, you got the brains, she got the goo-goo and the looks.
She's downstairs causing a ruckus right now, so.
Just like her dad.
Yeah, I can hear her up here. Hopefully you don't hear it, but.
No, I can't hear it.
I can hear her downstairs.
Just like her dad, who caused a lot of ruckus in the WWE locker room, writer room. Everybody at AEW coming at him.
Right? So what'd you think of it? What'd you think of Revolution?
Revolution pay-per-view is it has some good wrestling. The one thing I had a problem with is that I ain't need a 5-hour or some minute pay-per-view. I didn't need every match to have some type of blood. I'm the type of person where if the main event is a Texas death match, I know it's going to be blood in a Texas death match. Right. But I don't need almost every other match or every match to have blood in it. It doesn't really call for it. I mean, prime example. And this match was exciting, but it didn't need blood. FTR Young Bucks match didn't need blood. No. There was another match that had blood. It wasn't the Orange Cassidy match. I think it was like 3 other matches that had blood.
Explain to me how Orange Cassidy's team, how they thought that was a good idea to let them win. You just bring these dudes in, and you're already having them take losses.
I'm trying to explain how they even made the card.
I mean, I'm fine with them being like one of the opening matches, but yeah, it's like you bring these guys in and you're immediately burying them against Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, they are.
Like, come on.
This is like, I don't want to say burying the young talent, but this showing them no type of respect.
I mean, it's common for AEW to bring people in to lose. Like, it still astonishes me why they do that. No, hey, we're going to bring you in and you're just going to line up a bunch of losses right away. So
I want to do this because I want to make sense of the Orange Cassidy and the Darby Allin situation, right? I mean, let me phrase that. There is no situation. How is it that you had a guy, when I'm talking about Darby Allin, who was a pillar in this company, one of the 4 pillars, and all of a sudden he went from being on the mountaintop, literally on the top of the mountain. Now he just...
Because if I'm Tony Khan, I'm thinking, well, this dude's already screwed me in a couple of my PLEs, pay-per-views, call them whatever you want. Everybody's got a different name for them now. This guy's screwed me on a couple of my pay-per-views where he's gotten himself hurt with his extracurriculars. So I'll use him for everything I can get. We're going to see if we can break his back, and we'll just put him in all the BS matches and all the BS feuds. I'm not going to let him be a pillar that I'm going to have to rely on putting him in my main event when this dude could be paralyzed in the next week because he does stupid things outside of the ring on top of inside the ring.
Yeah, but I get that. And that is true fact because my man is like what did Ric Flair call Mick Foley back in the day? A stunt man?
Yeah, he's a stunt man.
Right. So Darby Allin was a multi-time TNT champion. He was a tag team partner with Sting. He has been some of the best matches that AEW has put
I
on.
like Darby Allin. I do. But from a company standpoint, like if I'm like I said, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm not going to put you in the main event because you're here for a good time, not a long time. It's only a matter of time before he takes one of those back bumps and he's not able to walk again.
True. Very true. But Darby Allin went from a guy who came back and said, I'm going to destroy John Moxley and the Death Riders, to now doing what he's doing now with Orange Cassidy, who has, in my opinion, probably one of the best gimmicks in wrestling. It's that slaw.
So annoying.
It's
So
annoying,
annoying.
but you can tell it's a gimmick that works for him. And he has got over that gimmick with the fans, with the kids. And this is the guy who I always thought that, man, if he would just get that one push, he can go really over in AEW. And he was a champion in AEW for a short time. But he went from one of the most popular guys in AEW until he's a guy who kind of needs a turn, but you can't turn him.
Well, there's no substance to the gimmick. He's basically like an R-Truth in the ring, where R-Truth is more backstage and comedy. He's a comedy wrestler in the ring. There's not a lot of substance behind that gimmick. You need somebody to go against, like a Jericho, for instance, that can overly sell the facial emotions, overly sell the frustration of wrestling a guy like that. You're not going to put him in the ring with, let's say, Bryan Danielson, for instance, and have a good match.
No,
you're not going to put him in there against Hangman Page and have a good match because the two styles just clash so hard.
Yeah.
You need somebody that can sell the psychology of what he's doing, and a lot of guys aren't going to be able to do that now.
Yeah, one of his best matches he had was with Jericho. Another good match he had was with MJF. He had a lot of good matches in AEW. But he's a guy
you just talked about like two of the best period to do it in the ring.
Yes. And two of the best I can sell. But here's the problem, though, is from a fan standpoint of view, as a guy who's looking in from the outside, his gimmick worked, but his gimmick is stale. So you can't turn him heel because it won't make no sense. But if you keep him as a face, his trajectory is going to keep going down. So he either going to have to refresh his gimmick a little bit, add a little something to it.
If he was to go heel, they would have to turn him into like a Dragon Ball Z character where he's just so good that he can't be touched. And that's the way they'd have to play it. And he's just not that good to begin with. Like he has to stay face because a heel turn, you'd have to make him unbeatable and untouchable. And that's just not going to fly. People would get bored of that real fast.
Yeah. And Orange Cassidy is not a young guy, by the way. I'm not sure y'all know that. He is not. So the simple fact that, for the last 7 years that he has this success in AEW is just pretty amazing. But again, it's going down. He's not going up. He's like in one of those I'll call a creative nightmare. Because he can't do anything with it. He got to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over.
Well, he's basically a glorified enhancement talent at this point.
Yeah, I mean, freshly squeezed.
For Darby Allin to be paired up with him, it just shows you what they think of Darby. And again, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm not relying on this guy for a main event because it is only a matter of time before he can't walk again. Or he's going to do something, hey, I want to go climb Mount Everest again. And all of a sudden, guess what? He doesn't make it back off the mountain this time. I get it. He wants to do all that stuff. And if they want to let him do it, cool. But it has to be the understanding of, you get hurt, you do this, you do that. This is going to cost you in your career because I'm not making you the main guy. Because if something happens, we're going to have to pivot and pivot hard.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
No, it's not. And trust me, I know everybody's favorite word is pivot, but nobody don't want to pivot like that. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, subscribe, and share our show. I forgot to say that, but make sure y'all do. My man Jamie here kicking some knowledge to y'all. Yeah.
I'm just talking.
Paperwork right here. But make sure you like, subscribe, and share. The women's championship match between Thekla Tekla, excuse me, and Chris Statlander. I know Tekla won, and as she should. And this time, I would never say I'm glad to see somebody lose a match, but I'm glad to see Chris Statlander lose her match, because now maybe AEW will give her the opportunity to let her character grow and give it some substance and some meaning.
All you could say is yeah, because
yeah,
the women's division in AEW is an afterthought. Unless you're Tony Storm, even Monet, like, you have the most stale gimmick in all of wrestling for the most part, and nobody cares. They don't even care to be like, hey, you got to change it up. Like, just, you're there. The women's division AEW is the exact opposite of WWE. It's just tacked on for the sake of saying that they have one.
It's amazing how the women's division in AEW, how good with wrestlers they have. Hasn't been that hot ever since Britt Baker disappeared.
Yeah, and I would have said, what, 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I would have said the women's division was the strength of the show. And now it's like, yeah, we have one. They're there. I mean, Tony Storm is excellent. They have some excellent. Yeah, I mean, Maria Schaefer, excellent. They have a lot of great women wrestlers. They just don't do anything with a story to make it worthwhile that people want to see them.
Willow Nightingale, she's excellent. Don't know why she held 2 titles. Don't know why why she was on the pre-card for her TBS championship. I don't know why. It don't make sense to me whatsoever.
Well, because 5 hours is long enough for a show. 5 hours and 15 minutes for an extra match is just far too long.
Hey, look, at least about 5 of those matches could have been on either Dynamite.
That show should have been 3 hours tops. Like, there was like three hours of solid entertainment there. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, I'm about over this. Like, this needs to.
You can literally pick out at least about 5, 6 matches, but like, all right, sure. So if I put this on Dynamite Collision, that will help those ratings over there.
The FTR match could have been on Dynamite. The Orange Cassidy match could have been on Collision or Dynamite. Like, they're doing the exact opposite of WWE. Like, between the two companies, they need to find a happy balance of, if you're doing a 3-hour show, you should have 6 matches. Roughly. Unless you have like an Iron Man match or a gauntlet match or something that's going to take up a lot of time. That's WWE's thing. Hey, we're only going to do 4 matches and we're going to try and space them out over the term of 40 minutes. And there's nothing going on for that entire 40 minutes. Right. AEW's like, hey, we're going to put in like 10 matches in this 5-hour card, and it's too much.
Yeah.
While I appreciate them going above and beyond to fill up a card to make you want to go see it, it does drag on. Like, you got to keep it moving.
Yeah, look, the tag team championships, the Mega Banes and Lita Cross versus Will Nightingale and Harley Cameron, I could have put that on AEW Dynamite. That would have raised up their ratings. I could have put the Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis versus Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, that trios match. I could put that on Collision. Help those ratings out. To me, not only it was a nice pay-per-view. It was entertaining, but it was just too damn long.
It was far better than anything WWE's done this year.
Yes, I would say this was probably the best pay-per-view of the year so far. This right here.
And quite honestly, at the rate that it's going, it probably will be at least top 3 between the two companies by the end of the year.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, it's basically just AEW competing with themselves to top what they did, because WWE's not going to do anything to top it.
Well, I mean, WWE is trying to make this WrestleMania all of a sudden they care about it. So now they're trying to make it happen.
And yet we still have the same matches. You still have Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. You still have CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that's true. Another match I liked it on here. Actually, the Marina Severa match and the Marina Shafir and Tony Storm match.
Tony Storm.
I liked that match until Ronda Rousey came out.
I mean, it was a great match until Ronda Rousey came out.
And listen, all I'm saying is Ronda Rousey, is this the same woman who dissed wrestling?
And that's why she's getting the hate, and everybody's like, "Oh, she doesn't deserve all this." I'm like, she spent the last 2-3 years just shitting on the wrestling business constantly. And Vince McMahon, like, okay, say whatever you want about McMahon, but like the overall business as a whole, when you embarrassed yourself in the UFC and showed that once people figured out that you only had an armbar, you started getting your ass handed to you on a regular basis. They walked you out of the UFC. WWE gave you a chance to make a lot of money to do very, very little, and then you wanted to complain about it. And you think you're going to go to AEW and have a better time? They're going to expect far more out of you. Now, we don't know if she signed an actual contract to be there. I can't see her wrestling before she has her fight with Gina Carano to begin with. Maybe she's just doing a couple one-off appearances here and there, but if she signed an actual contract to wrestle, Tony Khan's going to expect her to do far more than the WWE did.
Ronda Rousey, look, I think we all understand why she's in AEW. We don't understand why she's in AEW. She's in AEW because the way she talked about WWE. Ronda Rousey hates wrestling. Hates WWE, but really hates wrestling.
Well, she thinks she's above it.
Yeah. And she talks about it. And let me see if I found an article here. Let's keep it. Well, I'll read it later. Marina and Ronda Rousey are friends. So you can play that angle of she came to the rescue of her friend, but her friend didn't need rescue from Toni Storm at all, period. She didn't. Ronda Rousey, the same woman who quit the UFC because she got her ass kicked. But then back then, everyone was predicting that she would end up in professional wrestling. Ronda Rousey, the same woman who had the opportunity to revolutionize and change women wrestling for good, but she didn't want to do that. Ronda Rousey made more money wrestling than she did in UFC.
Yeah, a lot more.
Okay, all right. And Ronda Rousey, the same one who's a conspiracy theorist. So again, why is she in AEW? Because she got friends in our locker room, and the fact that she hates the WWE, Tony Khan loves her. Now, if you're expecting her to do anything special in AEW, she's not. If you expect her to revolutionize women wrestling in AEW, she won't.
As soon as things get hard, she'll quit.
It's not even that. Everybody and their mama make fun of Jade Cargill, her wrestling style. Everybody, we make fun of how bad the AEW women wrestling is right now. Storytelling, but not actual wrestling. We talk about how bad Rhea Ripley's looking. She lost a lot of muscle. She having a hard time lifting up competitors. Ronda Rousey has no wrestling skills. This is one who refused to develop a wrestling move. And her best friend is Shayna Baszler, who can't even get a wrestling deal nowhere.
Yeah, she's on NXT now. Like, she's doing the thing with NXT.
No, I skipped that, man. She been there, done that. She deserves better than NXT. She should be in AEW kicking ass. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, I'm surprised she went and did anything with NXT. I said I'm surprised that Shayna Baszler went and did anything with NXT once. That's what I'm saying. Released.
Why would I go back to the company who didn't value me once I went to the main roster? Who refused to put the title on me? You wouldn't even put the tag team titles on me. I was tag team with Nia Jax.
Shayna Baszler's one of the ones that annoyed me when they let her go, because like she's one of the ones that could have made everybody else look better because she can legitimately go. Her and Natalya both. Like, I get it, Natalya's a lot older than what she looks. Plastic surgery is an amazing thing, but you give some legitimacy when you give titles to those type of people to have them lose them to up and coming people, the Lyra Valkyrias, or hell, even if you wanted to, AJ Lee or something. To let them go and never do anything with them is
it's
beyond dumb.
It's mind-boggling. Shayna Baszler is a way better wrestler than Ronda Rousey. But you know why 100%. Ronda Rousey got signed to AEW? Because of her name, her status, who she is. And what she means to
Ronda Rousey thinks she's above it, which means she's there out of resentment. If somebody calls her out and says, you're only here because you need money, what's she going to say? No, I'm not. I'm here because I love it. No, because nobody's going to believe you, and everybody knows that that's fake. You are here because you needed the money, and this is the fastest way for you to make money that doesn't involve you getting embarrassed on TV again. Because at least this is scripted, or as you like to call it, fake. You go back in the UFC, Gina Carano is probably going to destroy her face. Gina Carano doesn't get near the credit that she does for being a fighter because she was the biggest badass before women's fighting was really a thing in the UFC.
Yeah.
But Gina Carano's probably going to tear her apart.
Man, I have no interest. I don't even care.
I mean, I was a Gina Carano fan, so I'll watch it because it'll be on Netflix. But yeah,
I'm not gonna watch it.
It's more of just she thinks she's above pro wrestling. She went out of her way to talk down about it, and then what does she do? The first chance she gets, she's hopping somewhere new because WWE is never going to give her an opportunity again, nor should they. But Tony Khan's got the money and probably threw a stupid amount of money for her to show up a couple times. She's going to take it, of course. And then everybody's acting surprised. Oh, she didn't deserve that. Nobody should have booed her like that. 100% they should have.
Yeah. We talking about, look, Ronda Rousey has no respect for the WWE community. Excuse me. Has no respect for the wrestling community, like you guys. And then she don't even like wrestling, period. So, yeah, she deserves to get booed. That's why when she came out, it was no fanfare. It was like, what the hell is she doing here?
Well, I watched somebody uploaded a video of like when the cameras went off, and it was like they're just camera, and people were throwing stuff at her, like concession cups and things like that. And that's part of being a fan. You show up, like people are gonna throw shit at you. Be glad it's not ECW back in the day where they started throwing the metal chairs into the ring at you. Like there's that.
This is her comments, and we're gonna end it with this one with her. Rousey has been critical of the WWE since her departure, and last year she told Uncrowned that she had no intentions of ever returning to professional wrestling again.
But you did.
Yep.
So what does that tell me?
Yep.
You needed money.
Overall, it was a good match until she came out. Fucked it up.
Oh yeah, it was a great match. I mean, Toni Storm, Marina Shafir, and Toni Storm are always going to put on a good match. Doesn't matter who they're going against.
Oh yeah, I just don't know why she likes walking in the ring barefoot for some reason, but hey. And except for that, Toni Storm bit her foot.
Toni Storm is a joy to watch. Weird shit she's gonna do in the middle of a match. On top of other things, she was fighting mid-match.
Yeah, she bit that all right.
Yeah.
One thing about Toni Storm, be ready for the unpredictable things. Because she likes to bite.
Yeah, you know, everybody's got their own little kinks, and apparently she's just happy to show everybody what hers are on TV.
Yeah, I know Juice Robinson. The Jon Moxley and Shinsuke Kanoshiko match was a very good match. Again, I don't know why Jon Moxley needed to win. Because storyline, it don't make sense. Especially if you want to start, if you try to get to this angle of Okada and Takasha, if you're trying to get them fight title versus title, I don't know why Jon Moxley went over. But at the end, it made sense because we had a returning Will Ospreay who's looking for revenge from the Death Riders who put him out with a neck injury. Will looks in good shape. He looks ready to go.
That's 100% why he won. Moxley only won to put the belt on Will Ospreay. That's why. Takeshita just happened to be the unfortunate person that was in the match. It doesn't matter who he would have been in the ring with. Moxley was going to win for the sole purpose of losing the belt to Ospreay coming back. And it's in AEW's best interest to put a belt on Ospreay as fast as possible to get people to tune in.
Yeah, because he is their, if you include MJF, Will Ospreay is their top guy next to MJF. He's their guy. And we already know there has been rumored that they're trying to set up a match between Ospreay and MJF again for All In or All Out members pay-per-view down in London. So they want to set that up because they only have, was it one match? Yeah, I think it was one match, one or two matches. And they want to get that feud going as soon as possible. So it will make sense for Ospreay, Moxley, wrap this up in probably in a few months or so. You win that title. All right. Now you go into Owen Hart and you move on and you take care of MJF. This was a good match. I feel bad for Tanishke because he became like that jobber talent where the guy's not a jobber. The guy is the IWGP and television champion, excuse me. And he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I don't know where you go from here with him after this match.
Because they're going to have to push the Okada feud and get that going, or else Takeshita's going to lose all of his momentum. And the one thing with that whole thing is they always book Okada to look more dominant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not really sure why. I get it in Japan. Okada's technically a bigger name than Takeshita, but that doesn't matter over here.
Right. And the one thing we notice about Okada over here compared to in Japan is that over here, if it's not a tournament match, then you're really not getting the best out of Okada. That's from what I have seen so far. Not saying he's a bad wrestler. He's a great wrestler. I mean, his matches against Kenny Omega, the reason why he was brought to AEW, by a matter of fact, if y'all didn't know that, well, some of the best matches in the world, some of the best matches I've ever seen, but that's all he's known as far as American wrestling. You got to get these two guys, like you said, locked in right now. They got to go ahead and start pushing the storyline because Okada, I don't know his AEW contract is, but he hasn't had a lot of good feuds, a lot of good matches here, unless it's the Continental Tournament. This would be something outside of Continental Tournament that would be a A+ match. So hopefully they get this going.
Yeah, and they've been teasing this thing for I don't even know how long. Basically, since the time both of them got into the Don Callis family, they've been teasing this whole thing. They just need to let it run and see what they can get out of it. They're both great wrestlers. You need a mouthpiece there, obviously, so you have Don Callis.
For both guys.
But that's the problem is I think that's maybe probably why they've delayed it is because you don't have anybody talking for Takeshita. You've got obviously Okada taken care of with Don Callis, but you don't have anybody talking on Takeshita's side. And that's going to make it a very one-sided feud.
Yeah. Sure, I could throw some names out there. They could easily got FTR manager. I forgot the guy's name.
Nana? That's Strickland's guy.
That's Strickland's guy. I forgot his name. It'll come through. But they could have used him. But overall, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. Moxley, this is the thing that I'm glad they did, and I hopefully this will straighten this out with Ospreay coming back. You can't have a guy who's a face be part of a heel faction because it don't make sense. Because that just cause confusion in the group.
Well, so even WWE understands that, and look what happened to Finn Balor, like right out.
Yeah. So by Will Ospreay coming back and the Death Riders and him beating up on the Death Riders and going after Jon Moxley, hopefully this will that'll fix that situation out because now Jon Moxley will go back to being a heel with the rest of this heel crew. You be seeing backstage up when the cameras off at the crypto. You see Ronda Rousey talking to Jon Moxley about potential joining that group. So hopefully that will work out. But you can't have a guy who's the leader of a faction who he said that he trusts them with his life be a face, but everybody else getting booed. It can't work that way.
Well, and with who's in the Death Rider still, I'm surprised they haven't just turned the whole faction.
Claudio, Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, Pac, Marina, and that's it.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I'm surprised with those guys. You haven't just turned the whole faction face. I mean, because besides Wheeler Yuta, you got a bunch of faces at one point that were already in there.
True, but if you look at it, from the standpoint of Marina, and Claudio, and actually all of them, they've done their best work as a heel. You turn them face, they lose all that momentum. Except for Claudio. I think Claudio, when he was Ring of Honor champion, he was a face and he does good work. But if you look at the positive response that he's getting as a heel, I could take one step further. I'm surprised they didn't kick out Moxley and let Claudio run the Death.
Well, and it still could come to that because Moxley, after the Will Ospreay thing, he's going to need something to do.
Right. And Claudio has the potential in the world to be world champion and be in the main event scene.
Yeah.
So
Well, and he would need a big win to do that, which Moxley would be that guy. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure this is probably Moxley's last contract with AEW.
Maybe not. I can see him signing a new contract, and he's not going to go anywhere, man. Unless he go to the indie, he's not going anywhere. He's not going.
If he gets a big enough contract for WWE, he would go back.
He ain't going back there.
I'm willing to bet that we'll see him back there.
I don't see it just because I don't. One of the things that I did read about him in the WWE is that the style of matches that he is working right now in AEW, in New Japan, in GCW, and everywhere, these are the matches that he wants to do. He just like Mercedes Moné, he loves that freedom of going to different independent wrestling companies, going over New Japan and doing these matches. WWE ain't never giving him that freedom to do that.
But they also pay you a lot of money. Yeah. And when you're towards the end of your career, it's kind of the exact opposite of being a pro athlete. When you're at the end of your career, you're looking to get as much money as you possibly can. You do all your wild stuff when you're young, and you try and get as much money as you can when you get older, because it could be your last time you get a contract.
Yeah, but Tony Khan got unlimited money too.
Yeah, but you're also in a small boat in a big pond.
Yeah, but he been in the big boat and actually done pretty damn good.
Yeah, but now he's a bigger, more known name. Now you could put him back in WWE and put him against a Roman, against the CM Punk, against Cody, and it would make sense.
Yeah, but
I don't think you'd get the same response out of Brock Lesnar trying to wrestle Dean Ambrose as you would a Jon Moxley now. And how Lesnar was completely, Moxley always says that's one of his driving factors of why he wanted out, is because he was disrespected all the time. Well, he was also a raging alcoholic and didn't do himself any favors either. I mean, going on the Stone Cold podcast and acting like an ass didn't do you any favors, but Lesnar shit on him and basically didn't want to wrestle him. That's why their feud was so bad, because neither guy was interested in doing it. Now you'd be getting a different version of a Jon Moxley compared to that Dean Ambrose.
You might
probably generate a lot more business.
You might get you might get a different version of Jon Moxley, but you still get the same fire and everything else, and you also get the same. Nah, I don't want to go back.
Well, that as long as they don't give him some stupid name like the Lunatic Fringe or whatever the hell they were calling him before. Yeah.
And then I can't see him going back as Dean Ambrose at all.
Well, he wouldn't go back as Dean Ambrose. He'd go back as Jon Moxley.
Wow.
And at this point, from everything that you read, WWE basically lets the wrestlers have carte blanche over what they do. I was reading about Powerhouse Hobbs. The reason he's not in NXT is because he made that a condition to sign, that he comes to the main roster. And what's he doing right now? Wrestling dark matches on SmackDown against Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Good job on that. You could have been on TV for 2 months now, actually building something up, and know you're wrestling dark matches.
That was his choice.
And soon you'll be the bodyguard to Santos Escobar down in AAA.
You sure?
Can you imagine working?
You might be Cody Rhodes' bodyguard.
Can you imagine being re-signed to WWE and actively working in matches and nobody remembered to remove you from the alumni section of the website?
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, he got let go.
No, he didn't. He's down in AAA.
Well, that's the thing. The night that he was wrestling on their card, there were reports that he was released. And it's like, the dude is on TV right now wrestling. And it's because nobody ever remembered to move him from the alumni section.
Did you hear what Penta said this past Monday? I don't want to get too far. Michael Cole said that Penta will be defending the IC title down in AAA.
Oh, yeah.
And guess who else we seen on AAA this past weekend? Sorry to get off topic here. That's what we do. Bailey was down in AAA.
Well, AAA isn't turning out the profits the way WWE for some reason thought it would, and now they have to dedicate resources down there to make it profitable. Which, again, why'd you buy him in the first place? You didn't do it out of the goodness of your heart to keep one of the legendary wrestling companies in business. You bought it because you wanted to make money with it, and you're realizing it's kind of a money suck.
Yeah.
And you keep letting go of all their top talent. So there's also that too.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on Alberto Del Rio to come back.
Yeah, he apparently did some like celebrity boxing thing over the weekend and like started a brawl. Like his team ran in and started attacking the other boxing YouTube kid. So it turned into like some big brawl. They're guessing it was a work, but like nobody knows for sure. Because apparently Patron was getting his ass handed to him and literally looked over to his team and basically gave a head nod, and they all just rushed the ring. I was reading about it, so nobody knows if it was real or not, but dude's always in the news for something. Like,
Can't
whether
say.
he's beating his girlfriend or doing something weird, he's always on the news.
And I don't know how this guy get girlfriends and all, but hey, I do got a promotional thing for us, and that is, you know, hey, if y'all look for a hair writer, please hire Jamie so he can hire me. You're looking for a head writer for your wrestling company, please hire Jamie Derringer, and Jamie Derringer will also hire me as his right-hand man, so make sure y'all make that happen.
I mean, are we going to start campaigning for this?
Yes,
because if we are, I can do like a whole campaign pledge, and like I can promise to make SmackDown watchable. I can give you a coherent storyline. I will give you non-sufferable PLEs. I will bring WrestleMania back down to one night because you don't have enough quality stories to tell 2 nights worth of stuff. Like I can make a bunch of promises.
Oh yeah, yes. We're actually gonna start a campaign next week. I'm gonna have like a campaign list.
Okay.
Look, I'm serious. I need a job, damn it. So you hire my brother here, he hired me.
Well, I 100% would. I mean, they're clearly cool with it. Road Dogg got to keep his job for how many years and just kept working his way up the ladder somehow.
Right. So, at least I can write and spell. Hell, a lot of them cats can't do that. At least I know the wrestler's name. They don't know that.
That's
At
true.
least I know what makes sense. That
like,
guy, that's the new head writer.
Watching Raw, we didn't even finish the Revolution thing. To summarize Revolution, every match doesn't need to have a plot device. I also don't know when syringes in wrestling became a thing. Like, that's just dumb to me. Thanks, Swerve Strickland, for that. You started that trend over there. The blood thing, I don't mind because, again, I grew up with ECW and things like that, but it does take the effect away when every single match has to be like Bloody Mania.
You take the lure of it.
Yeah, and a perfect example. Yesterday's Raw. Dragon Lee versus Penta. Amazing match. Not one drop of blood. Great story. Great. The best match of the year so far on basically any program I've seen, period. Would easily love to watch them go again. I would love a best of 7, like Andrade and Carmelo with those two. But AEW, it's like they don't have faith in their storytelling, so they have to use plot devices for everything. The whole Hangman Page, I'll never compete for the world title again.
Put yourself in.
You were asking me on the last show whether it was booking yourself into a corner. Not necessarily, because in their eyes, Hangman Page is a big enough name that he doesn't need to have the world title. On the wrestling world's perception of Hangman Page is probably not the same perception as Tony has of what he is inside of AEW, but you can still book somebody to be a top tier talent without ever having the heavyweight title. I mean, they did it with Jake Roberts. Jake Roberts was considered a top tier talent in the 80s and never sniffed a belt in WWE. Period. So they still could book him in ways that make him relevant. They did it with Cody. I mean, Cody had that stipulation too. Cody also ultimately left the company too. So there could be part of that. But the 2 issues I have with AEW is the lack of selling for a lot of the wrestlers, Will Ospreay probably being the leading charge on that. But B, everything has to have a plot device. They can't just take a quality story and tell a story within a single match.
Yeah.
You have to have all these extra, it's got to have this style match, Texas death match, or it's got to be suddenly we're using syringes or something dumb like I'll never challenge for the title again. It wasn't the stipulation of I'll never challenge MJF for the title again, like WWE did with Cody and Drew. It's I'll never challenge for the title, period. That's just a stupid stipulation. Why would you even do that?
Yeah.
But it just comes down to you don't have enough faith in your storytelling to tell a story with a single wrestling match.
Yeah. And I want to add this, then we're going to go to the WWE. It doesn't help where you've seen matches where people do their finishing move and they're kicked out at 1. That's like, wow, are we doing this?
I mean, there's WWE's equally bad for it, but when you see a match that has 15 of the finishers from like each person, what's the point? Like, it's the move that you use. There's a story element to it. Oh my God, somebody kicked out from this move for the first time. Okay, that's a one-off. That's something that they get to notch on their career. The commentators can call back to it, whatever. But a finisher is a finisher for a reason. You can go a match, believe it or not. You can have a match where you never use your finisher and lose. You can have a match where you use your finisher and win. Your signature move, use those as much as you want. If you're Jimmy and Jey Uso, it's about 30 super kicks a match because that's really all you know how to do. But a finisher should be a finisher. How many times did Hulk Hogan have to use a leg drop in a match?
More. It depends on the opponent. Sometimes twice.
If it's a bigger guy, like if you're wrestling the Big Show, you might hit something twice because it makes sense. But I'm not going to hit Rey Mysterio with 3 choke slams or two or 5 leg drops. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But when you have a match where everybody's using their finisher like 9 times, like, oh, Cody Rhodes, I have to do 3 crossroads in every match that I do, and I have to do it in triplet, completely loses its effect.
Yeah. So while we're on the WWE, Raw wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I kind of think, to sum it up on certain things, the CM Punk and the Roman Reigns promo, it wasn't nothing special was said other than like, hey, I'm in your head. You seen Punk hit Reigns and it didn't mean anything because it to me, it's like their promos didn't change. It stayed the same ever since they had having these battles against each other in the promo. We didn't learn nothing new. It stayed the same. The only difference was that you got CM Punk a little more upset because of Roman Reigns used the word old and retired.
Yeah, like of all the things, that's what sets you off to hit him is that he calls you old. You're 48. Like, just
see, I took that as I think he's still mad about we're gonna give you the John Cena retirement run thing, and call him old kind of leads into that. And it was just a little mind game that Roman was playing with him.
There's no chemistry between those two. It's like watching The Rock versus The Undertaker. 2 great wrestlers, if you want to call them that. I will never honor that with Roman Reigns. But like Rock and Undertaker, great wrestlers. They have terrible matches together. Anytime they're in the ring together, it was bad.
No, it's not bad. Yes, they was bad, but what you need now, you need something else to take it over the top, to take it to the next level. What that means is
what it honestly needs to make people care about it is they need to add a third person.
That's what I mean. That's what even better. So let's say we already seen the Usos got involved last week. And now we need someone for Punk to be in his corner to stick up for him, to get involved in this. I'm not calling for AJ Lee to get involved because she got her own battles, but maybe someone else other than AJ Lee.
The problem I have with it is the same thing we've talked about on other shows with CM Punk. And again, it's a CM Punk problem. And it goes back to the Drew feud. The heel is CM Punk in all of this.
Well, yeah,
but again, they're trying to play it like Roman somehow the heel and that CM Punk is the face. And it's like the one doing all the heel things is CM Punk, but yet they're cheering him. This is the problem that you've booked yourself into because it's just like Cody. It's not
like Cody because
go ahead. CM Punk, they're letting him do all this heel stuff, but they still want him to be cheered. They won't let him go full heel. But in every feud, he's the aggressor and the bad guy in all of it. But yet they treat him like he's the face. And again, in the Drew feud, CM Punk was the aggressor and the one causing all the problems and the heel the entire time until Drew took the bracelet. And you had to go to that measure just to establish of who the bad guy is and who the good guy is, because they don't know how to tell a story when they're too scared to push a character in a certain direction.
But then we both know that Roman can't cut a face promo. He can't. Not saying he can't, but he just can't because he's not good at cutting a face promo. So he has to go between those lines where a heel and a somewhat a face type of promo. So basically, he has to tell a truth, somewhat a truth. CM Punk could do both. He can cut the heel promo and the face promo. But ever since he's been back, like you said, he has been cutting heel promos. Mm-hmm. We all recognize it. Well, almost all of us recognize it, but except for the fans in attendance who they want to cheer it. Prime example: Randy Orton beat the hell out of Cody Rhodes. He turned heel. They cheered it. Randy Orton McIntyre, ever since CM Punk came back, has been cutting heel promos. Only Drew is the one who gets the response as a heel. Mm-hmm. Everybody else who cut heel promos gets cheered for. Especially Punk, who cut number heel promos, get cheered for because it's CM Punk and he drops pipe bombs and everybody love his promos. So in this situation where you don't have, and I say this, you don't have any faces in this match. It's heel versus heel. If you really look at it, it's heel versus heel. Heel Roman versus heel Punk.
Well, yeah, there's nobody to cheer for. Like, unless you just absolutely love Roman Reigns or absolutely love CM Punk. Like somebody like me, I don't like either guy. I have my own issues with CM Punk that I probably won't let go just from a business perspective. I think he's trash. Roman Reigns, I think, is the most overrated wrestler in the history of professional wrestling. That's never going to change. Especially when they bring it up all the time of, oh, he's now got the record for most WrestleMania main events. It's because it was forced on him. It's not because he was good enough. I'm not a big Steve Austin fan, but if Steve Austin's body didn't break down on him, Roman Reigns would never even be talked about. John Cena wouldn't be talked about near to the level that he was because Stone Cold would have been untouchable. He would have been bigger than what WrestleMania ever was. Yeah. But his body broke down. It is what it is.
And the simple fact that he also walked out of the match against The Rock. After the match, he walked out and left. But if you look at it, the only two promos that was faced that these guys ever do was when they come to the ring and they try to get when they get the crowd all hyped up involved. It's great to be here on a Monday night in Seattle, or acknowledge me. But when he do acknowledge me, he's not doing as a face. He's doing as a damn heel. Mm-hmm. So it's like the WWE need to establish who's the face, who's the heel. If it's going to be heel versus heel, that's fine, but make it that way.
Yeah, but people watch wrestling to cheer for people. Face versus face works. Heel versus heel never really goes well because people don't have a vested interest. They don't have somebody to cheer for.
Okay, well, think about this. We just said Punk and Drew McIntyre was heel versus heel, but Drew McIntyre was really the good guy in the whole situation. Everybody was cheering for both guys throughout their battle. Seth Rollins and CM Punk, everybody was cheering for their battle because you got heel versus heel, but everybody can relate to what Seth Rollins was coming from, how you feel about CM Punk. Everybody related to what Drew McIntyre, how you feel about CM Punk. Everybody can relate to what Roman Reigns, how you feel about CM Punk, because a lot of times wrestling fans will think about, well, hell, I got a boss I don't like, I got a coworker I don't like, and I got a guy who I was real cool with, but he dissed me. I know where they're coming from. And the one thing I'm kind of surprised that the WWE hadn't done in this feud is really tap into that hatred that Roman Reigns has for CM Punk. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised they didn't really tap into that. Because
it's because you can't trust Roman to say anything on camera that's not pre-scripted.
Well, that's what the one thing he did say, and which is true. And I know that's this one thing that kind of made CM Punk upset was, I want to say a promo was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Hey, Phil, you're back because they asked me. because they approached me. That's a fact. We heard that. I heard that. And I heard that, hey, Roman's willing to do business with Punk. Seth Rollins willing to do business with Punk, even though they personally don't like Punk. Drew McIntyre, same way, willing to do business with CM Punk, but not really a Punk fan. So we knew that. And I'm just surprised, out of Roman, they have really tapped into it, especially with how he really feels about Punk. If they allow Roman to really go into how he really feels, dig deep inside how he really feels about Punk, man, I think this will take this feud to another level. I mean, they tweeted them eyes a little bit with the, hey, I didn't pick you to be part of the Shield, or the, yeah, I know your family and I'll babysit your cousin, but you're just that one motherfucker right here who just don't want to show me no respect. And we already know about the CM Punk and Rock beef. So that itself tells you everything you need to know.
And yet I couldn't be more disinterested in the whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
That's the problem, is that they come out, they talk shit to each other for 5 minutes to end the show. There's no follow-up. And then you wait a week and they do it all over again. Oh, wow, this week CM Punk punched him one time. Cool. This isn't how you build up to a WrestleMania. There's nothing going on with this feud whatsoever. You got one guy taking personal shots, then you throw the Usos out there. Like, it just shows that there's absolutely no direction for any of this. You throw the Usos out there to go out and make him apologize. He doesn't apologize, so he gets punched. So the following week, we're going to have CM Punk punch Roman because you called him old. You made fun of the dude's dead dad, and then the following week, you punch him because he calls you old. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then you have the Usos just there. It's like, we don't know what to do with you guys, so we're just going to put you in the middle of everything, and hopefully something sticks, and that's what we're going to use.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're going to put these guys, officially, you guys have a match, either in a tag team match as a tag team together, or in a match against somebody else. Because usually when you start a feud like this, there's always one common denominator, is that they will always fight a tag team or another stable that neither one of them like.
Well, that's why I was saying they need to add a third person, because right now you need to have a face jump in there that somebody can get behind, that they can both be like, no, screw this guy, we hate him, and go after him. But right now you have two people that the fans are equally, oh, we love Roman, or oh, we love Punk, or whatever. Or people like me where I can't stand either of them.
If there wasn't so many injuries, I would love to see maybe Paul Heyman get involved in this. But since he got his own thing going on, because to me,
well, he's the person that's missing from the whole thing, because he's the reason that they're fighting to begin with.
Right.
But yet he's dealing with the whole other cluster of a story that they've tried to create over there. And I just want Paul Heyman to actually have some edge like he did in ECW. Instead of being the Weasley little guy that tries to run up and, oh, I got beat up. Be Paul Heyman from ECW for a little bit. Let the fans that never got to actually watch you as that Paul Heyman, be that Paul Heyman for a while.
We talk about the WWE being PG, it has hurt a lot of talent. Being PG has really hampered Paul Heyman. And just imagine if it was PG-13 and we would get the Paul Heyman that we deserve right now.
Well, there's a reason that you never saw any of the ECW guys over in WWE besides Rob Van Dam. You got Sabu for like a hot split second. You got Rob Van Dam for a little bit, but you never got Sandman really, besides like the one night stand things that they did. You never got Sandman. You never really got Raven. Except when he was Johnny Polo back in the early 90s, so that doesn't even count. But like, you never got Raven. You never got any of those marquee guys from ECW that could have really pushed things and gave an edge to everything, because you were already a PG talent. Basically, from the time John Cena got there in the ruthless aggression era from the Attitude Era, it switched to PG. And even Batista, he doesn't want to come back and do anything because it's all PG.
I said it once, said it again. PG was meant for John Cena. John Cena retired. Can we please get rid of it? But hey, But I also understand, you like me, a lot of those guys in ECW was so controversial, man. PG or not, I'll be scared to put them on WWE television.
I mean, it's not like I'm asking to bring in New Jack in his prime, where he's going to try and murder somebody in the ring, or start doing coke in the middle of the ring and, amp himself up or something. But
hey, that's strictly an accident.
I don't think opening up the baggie and pulling out the knife in the middle of a match is an accident.
Did I say that out loud? Because I think I did, but that wasn't an accident. But the murdering somebody in the ring, that was an accident. Not the coke.
No, he's on record of being very clear of Vic Grimes trying to kill him. And if he would have landed, slightly different than what he did, the dude would for sure be dead. I'm honestly not sure from falling that high up how he wasn't dead to begin with. And then beating that mass transit kid almost to death.
Hey, 5 inches to the left, man, we would have been sitting here in New Jack with handcuffs.
Oh, yeah. I'm still surprised he wasn't between the Vic Grimes thing and the mass transit accident thing. I don't know how he didn't go to jail for any of it.
Yeah, his name is Paul Heyman.
Yeah, you have to wonder what kind of juice Heyman has to keep him out of all that. But yeah, Raw and SmackDown both, they still have story problems. And especially getting this close to WrestleMania, I'm more disinterested right now for WrestleMania than I even was last year.
That is true. And honestly, the only match I am looking forward to is a promo that was cut yesterday by Liv Morgan is the Judgment Day. Finn Balor versus, hopefully they'll make this match official, Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. I like the promo she cut when she said, hey, I've been planning this ever since I was injured, came back from injury, planning your demise and you being out of the Judgment Day. I love the promo. It gave me depth. It gave me detail. It gave me the reason why and why this happened. But there's one thing that was missing. Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the point of cutting out promo and Finn Balor wasn't there and he couldn't respond to it? So I got to wait another week for him to respond or two?
Well, that, and again, if you knew you were going to set this up, not that I have a problem with Penta having the title, but why didn't you make this a marquee matchup for WrestleMania and have them going for the title? And if you really want to solidify Finn as a face turn, have him win the IC title.
I don't, it's
because again, what direction does Penta have right now? Challenges. He's just U.S. champion, open challenges now.
Well, he just won the title, but still, you would think like
they'd have something set up for him, and they give him a buddy match. Now, don't get me wrong, great match, but propping each other up at the end of the match, that's not going to develop a storyline for anybody. You're heading into WrestleMania, your IC champ has zero direction right now. Your U.S. champion has zero direction. You might say, oh, there's the thing with Ilya. You haven't done anything to progress a story in that besides two guys that respect each other. You haven't done anything to build a story on that.
Right. Please, as far as that match, as far as the United States Championship goes, I should say, please just give me Carmelo Hayes versus Rey Fenix.
Rey Fenix is wrestling dark matches. He's one of the ones that Powerhouse Hobbs is going against on dark matches before SmackDown.
Which is
Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, and Rey Fenix were the three people that were named that he's doing dark matches with.
Yeah.
You got Rey Fenix doing dark matches.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. There has been 5 years in a row before he came to the WWE that Rey Fenix was one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Penta, not too far behind, was never considered one of the best wrestlers in the world.
If Rey Fenix would have got to WWE before Penta, it'd probably be a bigger pop than it is with Penta. But Tony Khan screwed Rey Fenix in that whole deal and made him just sit at home for all that time.
Right.
But if Rey Fenix would have got here before Penta, we'd be having a much different conversation about the trajectory.
Right. And Rey Fenix is known. Rey Fenix is the former AAA heavyweight champion, multiple occasions. Rey Fenix has held heavyweight titles all through Mexico. I'm quite sure positive about that.
Mm-hmm.
Penta, him and Penta has been tag team champions all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Penta has held his own fair share of championship titles, singles championship titles, but none more popular and bigger than his brother. So to me, it feels like a role reversal. But you're right what you said. But it feels like a role reversal here. Penta was doing the same thing, but Ray Phoenix was the more popular wrestler because.
Well, and again, think about it. Why was Tony Khan so willing to just let Penta go, but he put the lockdown on Ray Phoenix for that long?
Because Penta was more charismatic, but he was not known as a great wrestler as Ray Phoenix.
Well, and that's the thing. Penta does the things that appeal to the little kids, the little 3-finger dappy thing, and the little swagger walk thing that he does. Ray Phoenix doesn't do any of that stuff. He just comes out and crushes it in the ring.
Right.
So, but again, Tony Khan knew what he was doing. I'm going to keep Ray and hold on to Ray and not let him go. You want to take Penta, make something happen with him. We did. But if Ray would have got here at the same time Penta did,
it would be Ray killing in the ring and Ray getting that respect.
And again, why I get it now, you've got Penta with the IC title, but how do we not have the Lucha Bros? You have one of the best tag teams in the world sitting there in singles titles or in singles matches.
Well,
and you have a dead tag team division.
Yeah, well, that's plain and simple. I remember when they even said that they want to separate both brothers so both brothers can be singer wrestlers, make names for themselves. But when they said that, I'm like, well, Ray Phoenix already has for the Usos. Right? They already have names for themselves. Right? I just said Ray Phoenix was one of the best wrestlers in the world. So what name do he needs to build?
Yeah, and your track record with brothers, doesn't really hold up in WWE. Steiner brothers, only one was successful. The Usos, only one is successful. You don't have to look hard or very far to find what your track record is with brother tandems.
No, I like Penta. Penta's one of my favorite wrestlers. I love the Lucha Bros. They're one of my favorite tag teams. But I don't care what you do. You can't make Penta big and Ray Phoenix.
I mean, I don't even have a problem that he's right now considered bigger than Ray Phoenix. It's just you're not doing anything with Ray Phoenix.
Right.
That's my issue, is you're not doing anything. Dragon Lee, I love Dragon Lee. But how do you not have these guys together? Almost in the exact same way that you had Andrade and Carmelo. Oh, my God.
Carmelo Hayes.
I almost said Carmelo Anthony.
I don't think Carmelo Anthony going 7 games.
That's why I was like, wait a minute. I just got to slow down. Brain's going too fast. Carmelo Hayes and Andrade going at it. That's what you should be doing with these guys, showcasing what they can do. That's going to get their popularity up, which then turns them into upper mid-carders, which then gets them into the conversation of who do they feud with to get into the main event. Because again, how do you build your main event? You take a main event guy and you put him against the mid-carder, upper mid-carder, to where people view them. This guy's a main eventer. Now you have another guy in the main event scene. It's a simple formula. And WWE doesn't do it. They just say, Randy Orton's here, Cody Rhodes is here, Roman's here, CM Punk is here. That's our main event scene. Nobody can come across and do any of that. We're going to just keep rotating these same 4 guys. Roman Reigns being in the main event 11 times, you should not brag about that. That just means that there's nobody else that you've developed to put into that spot.
That is true. That is 100% true. Another segment I did like, they tried to interview Randy Orton, and he was on the phone. And he was like, I know we're supposed to do an interview, but we're not going to do the interview. So I'm thinking, like, what's the whole point of this segment?
They're trying to build that he's a heel now, and they're going to turn it into the whole, well, I'm pissed off because they always talk about the Rhodes royal family and the Ortons are a royal family. You're a second generation, dude. It's not like you're a third generation or you have a bunch of brothers that are in the business. You don't.
Actually, I don't know.
Unfortunately, you got Dusty. You got Dustin. Dustin's wife, Marlena, when they were together was, Terry Runnels. She was doing her thing. Cody's doing his thing. Like, there is a lineage there. Ortons, you got your dad. And
your grandfather.
Well, yeah, your grandfather. Yeah, he is third generation. That's right.
Yeah, that's
it. But that's it. And besides you bringing your dad in for short periods of time and then him getting himself fired, it's probably why they don't talk about your family a whole lot. But that's like the way that they're trying to portray him as turning heel of, oh, well, my family's a royal family in wrestling too. Nobody cares.
Well, it's to me, it's more like a popularity contest with the WWE.
And that's the thing is, again, you turn the wrong person heel. Randy Orton was doing some of his best work in that whole, hey, I'm still happy to be here. I'm just enjoying doing this. Cody's the one that you've been teasing this entire time with all these little things with Drew and everything else, but they're too scared to do it.
Right,
WWE balls for storytelling.
Well, no, they don't. But see, also go back to what I said. You can sit here and say, you say he was happy go lucky, just happy to be here. Everybody wanted the Viper Randy Orton to come back. But the thing is, he never went away because he was still cutting heel promos.
Mm-hmm.
He was still doing heel things. You guys wanted the voices in my head. Oh, I'm going to pump you in the face, Randy Orton. That Randy Orton never went away. He was still there.
He was still doing that stuff. It's the same thing with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. They do heel things, but the crowd cheers it, and it's like, do you not understand the role that they're playing? And again, people can get mad. They'll probably say in the comments, I'm an asshole, whatever. Fans that are only WWE fans are generally dumb. And they don't understand wrestling. They're like, oh, I like this guy. It doesn't matter what he does. There's the whole good and bad. You typically cheer the good guy. Now, I was the guy that I was an Undertaker fan. The first time I saw Undertaker, I was like, oh my God, I love this guy. And then he beat up Hulk Hogan, which I was never a Hulk Hogan fan. I was a Macho Man fan. So then I'm like, I like this guy even more. But like Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, CM Punk, they get to run this almost anti-heel, high level, we can do whatever we want because the fans are going to cheer regardless because our theme song is cool.
Yep. That's it.
Like Seth Rollins comes back and all of a sudden he's a face. And I'm like, what has he done? And again, it's pro wrestling. You have to suspend your disbelief for a little bit. And that's how you can turn somebody face. Just take them off TV for a period of time. And then you can establish if you want them to be a good guy or a bad guy. But I'm like, from a story perspective, you were a bad guy that got your ass kicked by a bunch of bad guys. Doesn't mean you're a good guy.
Right.
So, and you're already back to doing heelish things. You have these guys coming out, swarming the ring and doing all this. Like, what was the point of that? Having all those guys out there, the whole point was just for Brock Lesnar to look like a badass, to make it more impactful, to have Obafemi come out.
Look like a badass.
And give him a fall from grace. But do you see how convoluted that is for the storytelling? You had to do all of that to set up a Brock Lesnar Obafemi match.
In which you could have done that separate.
Yeah, you could have done that completely separate, but they needed a way to tie in. How do we tie in Paul Heyman to this? Well, now we have to tie it to Seth. And by having Heyman, now we can tie it to Brock. But Obafemi still doesn't make any sense.
See, this in my mind, this is where my mind went to when I see that. I'm like, okay, so if Obafemi coming out, Seth Rollins right there, maybe we getting Oba being part of the Seth Rollins new faction, but
that would kill
at the same time. It would. I was thinking about that, but then I thought about it again. I know it wouldn't make sense because Obafemi don't need to be in no faction.
Well, the whole ruler thing, you're not going to sit there and call this guy the ruler when he's sitting as somebody's lackey in a faction,
right? But then I thought about it some more, and I'm thinking like, oh, let me run down. I'm thinking because I seen Paul Heyman, he looked all beat up, got a black eye, looked like he ain't shaved in a couple weeks. He looked, a little scruffy.
And looking all dejected and beat up. Yeah.
And then I look at that. Then I look at when he was talking to the remainder two guys of the division, and he said, we need leverage. You guys need to go after the Usos and get the tag team titles, do something. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, because I want you to comment once I say this, it seems like they're buying time for Braun Breaker to come back.
100% they are. But Paul Heyman doing that part of like the promo backstage, that's the one part I appreciated because it does show that there's a thought process there. Like, hey, we don't have the juice as a group. Nobody gives a shit about you two guys.
We have
so
no
go make them give a shit.
Yeah. We need titles. We need gold.
Yeah. Heyman can wrap that in. The Bloodline had all the juice because at one point we had the unified title, we had the tag titles, we had all the power on the show. We could do whatever we wanted. We need to do that same thing. So you guys need to go do it. Now that'll set up a super kick fest at WrestleMania for the Usos versus Theory and Paul, which I guess we just call them the Vision Light. I don't know what you want to call them, but we'll just say the Vision. Should they win the tag titles? Yes, because both those guys need something big to kind of keep them going. Because again, the Vision doesn't matter now. And it's no fault of Austin Theory's or Logan Paul's. You just haven't given them anything to work with. You're giving them a one-sided feud against Seth Rollins, but now you're pulling in LA Knight, you're pulling in all these other guys into this feud against these two guys that really weren't the start of anything. They're just guilty by association, technically, from a story perspective.
Yeah. And then in knowing the WWE, if they make this match happen, if that match happens in WrestleMania and the Uso loses, the WWE now has another story to tell where Jay Uso loses his mind. He attacks his brother. Now he's going to go heel. So then now they can wrap all that up in one bow and give us another Uso match.
Which nobody ever should say that they want to see.
But you know, one thing that WWE has done so good at is that they got away from that for a little bit, because we know Jay's confidence on if they lose, how he would feel. And they got away from that. But now if at WrestleMania, if they're in a position where if they lose, that will creep back in, and that Jay Uso that was been trying to turn heel might be heel.
I think, just knowing me and how I think about people, I think I would like Jay Uso. Like, I would go from absolutely hating him now, like I do, to liking him a lot as a heel if he just embraced like a Street Fighter persona as a heel, stop doing the frog splash, stop super kicking people, and just straight up try and fight him. Develop a different finisher, something more ground based. I'd probably like him a lot, but WWE's reluctance to turn their faces heel, they'll probably screw it up and make Jimmy attack Jay and make Jimmy the bad guy, because Jimmy's always the bad guy.
Yeah.
So I have little faith in that happening.
Or if the WWE really want to go full blown and tap into this, they're gonna make the Usos as a tag team just go heel and beat everybody's ass. And that was
when they did their best work, is when they were heel.
Yeah, and that will give them that edge that we all know they need.
But I would like to see Jay at least go heel, and with the way they keep teasing, you know, Jay going off on Jimmy and things like that, like, I could see them doing it because they've teased it, but at the same time, WWE's reluctance to make their faces heel tells me that they won't. Or if they do, they're going to do it like the Randy Orton Cody thing. Instead of doing the logical thing, and instead of trying to outthink everybody in the room that you guys are smarter, you're not. That was the dumbest transition into a heel turn that I can think of in recent memory, in long memory too, of making Randy Orton suddenly just, oh, I'm going to beat you up now because you said you wanted to see the best Randy Orton. Like, it's just dumb. Cody being heel would have made 1,000 times more sense and would have done much better long-term storytelling for you. But with the Usos, they'll probably make Jimmy turn, like I said, which would be terrible. Yeah. And it's not even Jimmy turning. It's just Jimmy being Jimmy.
Yeah. Again, yeah. So I got one question for you. Now, yesterday we seen your favorite wrestler, Io Sky. Yesterday, she came out during the status
got tossed over a desk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cute. I love Io Sky.
I thought like Raquel just pushed the kid all over the place. I swear to God, it looked like it, man. I'm like, damn, Io's not that tall, but we seen that, and I'm here thinking like they've been talking. They want to push. They want Asuka versus Io.
And yet you did nothing with Asuka and Io this close to WrestleMania to build anything.
Nah, because it looks like they like the Kabuki Warriors going to be in that tag team gauntlet. So
no, WrestleMania, this entire buildup is just complete trash. So like you're making a case for a Raquel versus Io match, and nobody's going to.
That's what I was getting to. Like, are we getting this, or are we getting Io Sky not being on the WrestleMania card?
I'm guessing it's probably her not going to be on the card in a wrestling capacity.
That's like, I feel for her because ever since Rhea won the Elimination Chamber, She got nothing to do. Ever since Rhea now is on SmackDown, it's kind of like the Damian Priest effect. She got nothing to do.
It's
you called this a few months ago. You said once you break them up, once they go their separate ways, what you gonna do with them? And now we're seeing what's happening with Io Sky. She has no direction whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because I keep saying the biggest problem with WWE, they have too much talent. I mean, you added a second night onto your biggest show of the year. It should be loaded with matches, but it's not, because your advertising time needs to be factored in there, because God knows TKO will hawk anything that will make them a penny. So instead of having two, we're probably only going to get 4 matches each night. And you'd say, wow, 8 matches for WrestleMania.
But now they saying it might be 6 matches each night. We're still not kind of not enough where your main talent still not gonna be on the card.
When each show is going to be 4 to 5 hours long, 6 matches isn't very much.
No, it's not.
And when you have top tier talent, again, I use Bayley because Bayley wasn't used last year. Right now, what do you have for Bayley? You might have an IC rematch, maybe. But what does that leave for Lyra Valkyria, who's one of your up and comers?
Nothing. Or they might just put him in that tag team gauntlet. And listen, we already know if it's a women tag team gauntlet, it is not going to be no 10-minute match. All right,
no, they're going to use that to suck up an hour and a half.
Yeah, not even that really. It's going to be short.
Yeah, and that's just going to be, hey, we're throwing all the people that we wish we could put on the card on here, but we're not smart enough to think of a story that makes anything make sense. Yeah. So you're all just going to be stuck together tag teams and go out there and wrestle for a while.
And then the WWE already kind of told you who's going to win. There's only 2 tag teams that are going to win this gauntlet match. They already told you which 2 is going to be. Is it going to be the current champions, Last Legend, and Nia Jax, or the Bella Twins? They told you that already.
Yeah, and I really don't see Lash Legend and Nia losing any momentum this quick.
Right.
Because again, you're not doing anything to build Lash Legend as a solo star. You're not really giving her anything besides Royal Rumble. You did give her a little bit of a showcase to show that she could do something. But ever since then, she's been tied at the hip with Nia. So I don't see them losing that momentum of losing the titles.
No. But she will be getting a few solo matches in between, because that's WWE going to always do. When you're a tag team champion, you're going to get a lot of solo matches more than you'll get a tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they told you in theory who's going to win, either Last Legend, Nia Jax, or the Bella Twins.
Having AJ Lee with the women's intercontinental title, the Bella Twins with the tag team title, like, why?
Well, we know why they give it to the Bella Twins, because this is something they always wanted, and they're gonna get.
I don't give a shit
for it. But I know you don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. But guess what? Papa H gives a shit. TKO gives a shit.
Yeah, because the roof just blew off when Nikki Bella came back. The roof just blew off when Brie Bella came back. No, it didn't.
It's the moment. That's why it's the moment that they looking for. It's what they do. The moment of the Bella
MJF comment.
Please
see MJF comment.
I know. I've seen this comment. And for them, that's what it is. It's the moment of the Bella Twins, WWE Hall of Famers. I don't know how, but finally tag team champions, and they won't give them a run.
Whenever you think about out loud Hall of Famer and you're like, I don't know how, just remember Michelle McCool is in the Hall of Fame.
That is true.
If there was any professional wrestler that I'm like, why are you here? It would be her.
Man, you know what? I say this, and I mean it's all due respect. If you're in the WWE Hall of Famer, I'm expecting you to be retired and not trying to come back and wrestling. Now, if you're going to retire as a Hall of Famer in the WWE and goes to wrestling, continue to wrestle, that's one thing. But if you retire in the WWE and now you want to come out of retirement and wrestle in the WWE, no, I don't need that. Don't need it.
Well, that's my thing is like, you've already got too much young talent already. We're talking about top tier talent for them just in the women's division that might not even make a WrestleMania show. And you're going to give time to the Bella twins. You're giving time to AJ Lee. WWE created this. WWE with CM Punk years ago. They're the ones that brought up CM Punk on commentary, which then gets the crowd to be like, oh, they're talking about CM Punk. Now we're going to start chanting his name at shows. They created that. If AJ Lee stayed gone, nobody would care. If CM Punk never came back, guess what? Somebody's going to take that spot, and they're probably going to run with it. And think of how much young talent they have right now that could be taking that spot that's not CM Punk.
Yeah, I know.
It could be LA Knight. It could be Ilya Dragunov. Could have been Braun Breaker.
It could be Oba.
Like, you have all this young talent that these old guys just don't want to get out of the way. And it's the history of wrestling. Stone Cold, very open about it. He would actively try and politic behind the stage or behind the scenes to keep people held down because he didn't want to risk losing his spot. But that was in an age before there was guaranteed contracts, right, things like that. Like, it shouldn't be that way nowadays. If I hurt my shoulder and I'm out for 9 months, I still get paid for 9 months. It's not like it was back in the day of, I need to get on TV because if I'm not on TV, I don't get a paycheck.
Yeah.
You got CM Punk of the world at 48 still wanting to be in every main event possible because, I've never been in a WrestleMania main event. Who cares? You've been on WrestleMania.
I want to finish this up with this one because you got to come back do another show. A part of that Liv Morgan promo, I don't know if you caught it. If you did, I want you to respond to real quick. Where she mentioned the Judgment Day, she mentioned Dom Mysterio, she mentioned how JD McDonough has blossomed, and she mentioned Raquel. You know who she did not mention? Roxanne Perez. So I'm kind of wondering, this is where we get the stage where Roxanne would join Finn and Roxanne being thrust into that title picture now? Because what do we say about the WWE is that they need to build new stars. And Roxanne, it still is the WWE prodigy where this is the one, other than Braun Breaker and Ova, that they wanted to push into the main event scene and push into the title scene. So this might be that.
Well, and if you look at it from in the women's division, you always have big woman versus small woman. Whether it's Nia, whether it's Bianca, whether it's Rhea going against a Io, a Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, something like that. Getting a Roxanne Liv, that's two women of the same size.
Would that be a hell of a match?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It would be a great match. And it would be something different because you're not seeing a giant Hulk versus a small little thing and doing the David versus Goliath thing.
Right.
You're seeing two women of the same stature that can actually go at it.
Right.
And both of them can actually wrestle. People can hate on Liv Morgan all they want. She is incredible in the ring.
Yeah. And this is why I said that I believe Roxanne would be my favorite to win the Money in the Bank, and which I do believe Money in the Bank don't need his own pay-per-view. That's another story. This is why I said she needs to win it, because they kind of dropped that seed right there. And when she comes back, you got to automatically think like she's not coming back part of the Judgment Day. So when she comes back, she got to win Money in the Bank. Go ahead and start that feud with Liv, because it makes a ton of sense since Liv did not name drop her as part of the Judgment Day.
But again, think about it. Then all of a sudden, let's say Roxanne does get involved. Now you've just pushed somebody else off TVs.
Yeah, that's true.
So who's giving up their spot? Are you taking Rhea off TV? No.
Rhea would probably be on SmackDown after this match with Jade, because I don't see if she wins, she's going to be on SmackDown. If she lose, she still needs to be on SmackDown.
We'll see.
Yeah, but also there's an article I forgot it written down in my notes that it talks about how Rhea Ripley lost a lot of muscle weight. It's a good read. You guys need to please check that out.
We talked about it in the last show. You can just look at her and tell she's way smaller than she used to be.
Yeah, she did it for a reason, but hey.
It's called, you have to cycle your steroids. You're on, then you got to come off for a while, and then you get to go back on. You got to cycle that stuff.
Buddy Matthews don't take steroids.
Yet nobody's chest as a man is that inflated without being on steroids. Buddy Matthews is like a walking action toy.
So what are you saying? He supplied his wife with the dirty needle?
Yeah.
Allegedly. You gotta say allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. We have to keep our reputation somehow. So yes, allegedly. It's the Triple H effect. You can go back and look at still images of Triple H. You can see when Triple H is on roids and when he's not on roids. There's beer gut Triple H, and then there's jacked as all hell Triple H.
Yeah, and right now we got the beer belly Triple H.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, that is the Signatures of the Finisher podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share our show. You can catch me and Jamie again a little later on because Jamie will join me on the Dojo podcast as we talk about the NCAA tournament and Darius A. Cuff Jr. Do you know who he is, Jamie?
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna need y'all to do your information because Darius A. Cuff Jr. gonna get a lot of spotlight on the Dojo podcast with my featured guest, Jamie. So let you guys tune in and we'll catch you guys later. And please like, subscribe, and share, and check out our YouTube shorts that'll be coming soon.
Later.
Yeah. Yes, walk. Did double work. Mic check. Fade in, red light on. BS in the chair, new day seemed on. Got notes in the pad, got truth on deck. Ask real tight questions, put respect on the check. We break plays down. Then we break up again. From the huddle to the hustle to the how we were winning. You can hear grind talk in the breath we take. Every story got a scar, every song I want. This that signature of finisher talk. Standing every show with DS walk. Yeah, Devil J, bring the flame, no fear. If you pay for the real, talk right here. This the signature of finisher talk.